Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is iDaisyRay and I do Second Life videos talking about freebies, giveaway sales, and all that good stuff. If you enjoy that kind of content, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe. We have so much fun here. Okay, so first of all, before I jump into the video, I just want to say happy Spooktober. You know, Halloween is one of my favorite holidays of all time. Like, I just love the idea of dressing up into costume. And you know, it doesn't always have to be slutty. It could be funny, it could be cute, it could be scary. I particularly love the goofy and the scary ones. I don't get scared that easily. I mean, I do, but like, I watch a lot of true crime, so to be honest, I'm more scared of people than I am of like ghosts and serial killers. And well, not serial killers, people are serial killers, but I'm more afraid of humans than I am of like ghosts and mystical characters and all of that stuff. So a lot of stuff doesn't really scare me. So I really just enjoy Halloween. I think it's a fun year, a great holiday. I love decorating my home. I love decorating my avatar. So as you can see, today I am Beetlejuice. I forgot his name for a moment. So I bought a lot of this stuff a while back with the intentions of dressing up as Beetlejuice, and honestly, this is not all the stuff that I had. Like, I have multiple Beetlejuice outfits, but I decided to go on this one because I just love it, honestly. It might be too many stripes for some people, but for me, it's perfect. And I got this cute little cauldron from Hangry this weekend sale. How freaking cute is that? My skirt is from Violent Seduction. It goes at the top, but I like this jacket more. My jacket is from Asteroid Box. Love them. My boots, I forgot who these boots are by. Lavu. I got them on a weekend sale just this weekend. The hair is by Dew and it's called Jillian. My makeup is from Dottie's Secret, and the lips is from Ives and Jack Spoon. I love Jack Spoon. So yeah. And dirt I just got from the marketplace. I forgot who it's by, but it's gonna all be in my Flickr. I just really love this outfit. And if you don't know, every single video I do this month, I'm gonna be dressing up in some kind of costume. So if you need any ideas, just keep an eye on my Flickr. Okay, now that I'm done gushing over my costume, let's talk about the topic. So recently, I've been doing a lot of jobs in Second Life. And you know, I've been doing this for a while, but I took a break. When I first started Second Life, I was like, okay, I want to do this and I want to do that and I want to do this, but I need money and I don't want to keep spending my own money. So I was like, let's get a job. Now I got, how many jobs did I have at the beginning? I had 3 jobs. Multiple jobs, but in 3 different areas. So if you don't know about jobs in Second Life, it's very similar to real life, except you don't get paid actual money. But you can, you know, exchange your Lindens for real money. But you don't get paid actual money for most of these jobs. Some people, they might pay you in real money, and most of these jobs you're going to get paid in tips, unless it's like a job that will actually pay you an hourly rate, which there are some out there. So, like I said, basically that's what an SL job is. It's just a regular job like you would do in real life, but in Second Life, and you get paid in Lindens. Really cool. Now, I'm going to tell you about the jobs that I personally did. So when I first started Second Life, the jobs that I mainly did were, I was a hostess for a restaurant, multiple restaurants actually, 3 to be exact. I was a hostess for 3 restaurants, not all at the same time. I was a bartender. Oh, and I was a hostess for a DJ club. And I was a hostess for a strip club. And that's about it. So in most of my jobs, I've just been in a hosting position or a bartender or waitress. So, and these kind of waitress and bartender ones are my favorite because you get to role play. And most of the time, you're not role playing with a lot of people at once. So I find it a lot easier to role play with just one or two people or however people come into the restaurant. Like there was one time I was working at Faith and Flower restaurant and a whole group of people came in and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, one, let me let you know. When I was working at Faith and Flower, I was on a really bad laptop. So I would just sit my avatar right behind the bar and not move one bit. That's when I was a bartender. So I just stayed behind the bar. I didn't move. I didn't do anything because I knew that if I moved, I went and all the way down the street somewhere because I lagged out. So I was like, I'm not moving. So this whole group came in and they were like, hey, we want a waitress to roleplay with us. Can you do that? And I'm like, uh, okay, I'm used to just working with one person, but this is a big group. Luckily enough, I didn't really have to do much because they just wanted to talk amongst themselves. They didn't really need me to roleplay that much other than, getting them the food and the table and all of that stuff. And I didn't crash. I didn't crash and I didn't lag out. And they left me a big tip. They gave me 4,000 Lindens just for getting them a table, getting them food, menus, and all of that stuff. And I was like, okay, work. I mean, I'll take it. And I will admit, while I didn't get those many tips at Faith and Flower, most of my tips that I did get were pretty big. Like, people would just come in when I was a bartender and they would just sit down, we would chat, we would have one-on-one. I met couples, I met singles. It was just a good time, really chill. And I just had so much fun being one-on-one with those people and just chatting. Sometimes I would roleplay some drinks and stuff in there. So a lot of the time when people come into these roleplay situations, they just want someone to chat with. They just want to, it's a social game. They just want to be social with someone. So that's what I gave them. I gave them my social. I love talking. I love getting to know people. And I love listening to people talk. So it was a win-win. Now, being a host at a club or a strip club is a lot different. Now this is different because most of the time you're not going to get tips. I'm just going to be upfront. Most of the time you are not going to get tips. And that's something I had to learn early on, that if you're going to do a job that requires tips and not someone to just pay you regularly, you should make sure it's something that you enjoy doing. So most of the time I will do hosting at clubs where they play music that I enjoy. And that's easy because, I like all music. So I worked at country clubs, I worked at rock clubs, I worked at, biker clubs. It doesn't matter. As long as you're playing some good music, I'm in. And it's fine if I don't make any tips because I'm having fun. I'm listening to music. I don't have to do too much, just enough. And that sounds bad, but what I mean is that, as a hostess, you're not one-on-one, so you don't have to specifically focus on one person. Sometimes I do. Like, if they're tipping me or if they're interacting with me, I'm going to interact back and I'm going to, give them my time. But it's not like at a restaurant where you have to single focus on one person. So, as a hostess, I usually just, I welcome everyone in. Whenever someone comes in, I welcome them in, I greet them. I would just, shout out all the little hostess things like, don't forget to tip the DJ, don't forget to tip the club, landmark, bring your friends, da 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 da, whoop whoop wah, all that stuff. And, for the most part, it's easy. It's easy. And I always try my best to interact with people. So, if I see a couple in the back and they're, doing their thing or whatever, I'm just like, oh, hey, you guys look so good. Or something like that. Or, and also, read the room. So, my interactions with people are usually based on, one, the club that we're in, and two, the vibe that I get from the club. So, when I was hosting at strip clubs, well, I say it like it's more than two. When I first started, I only hosted at one strip club, but that didn't last long. And now I'm currently hosting at Kinky Haze. So when I'm hosting at a strip club, I usually just test the vibe. If people are being flirty already, even though I know that I am not really interested in any of that stuff, I'll be flirty too. If I see a couple smacking each other's butts or something, I'll be like, ooh, I hope you don't mind if I ogle. oh my goodness, you guys are hot. Or, well, I don't say that, but I just keep it cute and funny and casual flirting. Like, not anything serious. Just casual fun. Because that's the vibe. And people respond to it. They're like, haha, you're so funny. Or I'll go away and stuff like that. And I'm just like, yes, okay. So, you just really got to read the room, read your audience, and go based on that. If there's no kind of vibe like that, then I just keep it professional, clean and fun, entertaining, and no kind of flirty jabs or anything like that, because you don't want to make anyone uncomfortable, you know? That's pretty much the jobs that I did and how I did them. Now I'm going to tell you about the other jobs that are available in Second Life. There's like a hierarchy of jobs in Second Life. So the hierarchy for me, in my mind, are first cam escorts. So cam escorts are kind of what it sounds like. Women who are on camera and they do naughty things for men who pay their time. Next up will be voice escorts. Same thing. They are in game, not on camera, but they use voice to escort you. Then there's a text escort. Same thing. In world, but they use text. No voice and no cam. And then you have your strippers. They probably do not do any escorting at all. They're just there to, show off their sexy avatar or whatever, what have you. I also recently found out through a friend that there's even this thing going around called AFK escorting, where basically you just have your avatar sit in one spot and people will pay your avatar to have sex with your avatar even while you're not there. So you can just like set your avatar up, go outside, go on a lunch date, go do whatever you gotta do in real life, and when you come back you're gonna have money. That's crazy. I'm just like, okay, this is the world we're in. I try not to knock anyone's kink, but whatever. Anywho. So sex workers of all forms are always at the top of the list. So you have your sex workers, and then just below them you have your DJs. Now, as I said earlier, DJs are very sought after. People always need a DJ. Doesn't matter what kind of event you are having, what kind of job you're having. Unless it's like a roleplay job, like a hospital or something, you don't need a DJ for that. But most clubs and pool parties or anything like that, they want a DJ. So DJs are just beneath sex workers. Even strip clubs have DJs. So if you're a DJ or you want to become a DJ, just know you're probably going to get bank. There are some DJs who have gotten so good at being a DJ or very popular as a DJ that they get hired on and paid a lot of money to do special events for people like Access and so on. Like at Spooktacular by Toxic, she hired I think like 4 DJs and they were so good. And I remember being at Spooktacular and just like having the time of my life because of the DJs. Like the DJs were so good. I made a whole video about it and everything, just fangirling over the DJs because they really gave me my life. Like, I'm kind of a hermit in Second Life, so I don't really go out and interact with people. So when I was enjoying that music at the event and just having a good time, I was like, oh my gosh, you know what? I kind of get it now. I kind of get why people go out and party in Second Life. Because you have all this fun and you don't have to deal with the weirdos. So it's really, really fun. It's a win-win. I was enjoying myself. So, yeah. DJs are right beneath sex workers. And then you have your roleplay jobs, which are very popular too. Because there's a lot of people who come to Second Life for the roleplay. So you can roleplay as a doctor, you can roleplay as a police officer, you can roleplay as a cook. You can basically roleplay as anything in Second Life, you just have to find your community. Now, I've talked about communities on my, so communities are basically a LAN that, roleplays everything. So you have pre-selected homes, you have restaurants, you have stores, you have all of that stuff that you will have in a normal city. In these communities, they hire people on to play these roles. So you might have someone play a city sheriff or something, city judge, city doctor, and so on and so on and so on. Now, I have never, join a community like that, so I can't give you a first-hand experience or anything. But I've heard a lot about them, and not all roleplay communities have to be like the human world. There's some roleplay communities who like roleplay back in the medieval times. Then there's some who roleplay fantasy stuff. So it just kind of depends on what your vibe is. But there's likely going to be a job in any of these roleplay communities. So, other than those three, I think the only other jobs would be just like, outside of, creating items. It would just be, like I said, the hosting, the restaurants, and just stuff like that. And there's a lot of other jobs that I probably don't even know about that you can find online. So now I'm going to show you some places to look for jobs. There's a lot of places, really. There's some that's on the forum page, there's some that's in the search thing, and then there's some that are at actual places that, have a lot of job applications. So we're going to get into that. Okay, so the first spot that you want to look for jobs are in the search engine. You just come over here to your search engine, or if you're in Firestorm, I don't know how you get to that. And you should be logged in, because if you're not logged in, you're not going to get the general, moderate, and adult. Because even if it's not like a naughty job or anything, most of the time people have their places, their clubs in an adult land. So I just keep it general, moderate, and adult just to make sure I see everything. Now, what you're going to do is type in hiring. Now, a lot of these places, when they're looking to hire someone, they will show hiring inside their... Oh, you know what? I messed up. Hold on. I am going to take off all of these because I don't want an event, groups, a destination guide, or people. So I just want places. And I'm going to type in again, hiring. So now you can see that there's 230 results of people hiring. And this is basically where I got my current jobs from. I just did the search here because I was like, I'm too lazy to go through the forums and message people and wait for them to reply back. I'm just going to go here and apply. And one thing that I also like to do is to look at their traffic. Now, you can't really go by this because I found out recently that people use bots in their clubs. I know, it sounds crazy, but people use bots to inflate their traffic and get more people to come in. And that's what I used to go by when I was looking for a job. I would say, hey, this place only has 16 traffic, so they probably don't get a lot of tips. And then you might go here and hit traffic high to low. And you'll see right here, this is a really high traffic place. So this is a strip club. Oh, it's a cam voice escort. So they probably don't do any other escorting. They just do cam and voice. And this is called Angels Gentlemen's Club. And their traffic is like 50,000. Is that 50,000 or 5? Yeah, that's 50,000. That's crazy. 50, oh my, that's so much. Now, I don't know if this traffic is high because of the escorts or what, but yeah. So the other places that they have on here are another gentleman's club. Oh, this one is cute. Kickin' Boots is a country club. Now, it doesn't say hiring up here, but it does say hiring down here. DJs, hosts, and bikers are welcome. There's a lot of clubs here, and this is the one that I work at, Club Boom Boom. And this is how I chose them, because they had a high traffic. It wasn't too high and it wasn't low, and I just really clicked with the people that worked there. They're so freaking nice, they're so kind, but I'm gonna get to that later. But yeah, this is the first way that you can find jobs, just checking out the search engine, using the high traffic. Because, like I said, most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, a club or any kind of workplace that has a high traffic, you will get more tips because there's more people there. But there are some clubs who will hire bots. I don't know which clubs there are. I don't know how you even get bots in a club. I don't know any of that. But I'm just putting it out there so you know that you can't always trust the traffic, but you should definitely try that first. Alright, let's move on. Okay, now the second part in the search is to check the classifieds. Now, I don't know if Firestorm has this option where you can also check the classified ad, but you just go here, type hiring, and you will see all the classified ads. Some of these are a bit old, as you can see, or they just put them out multiple times. But hiring DJs and hosts, hiring at Haven, hiring at Hotties, now hiring entertainers. So those are the two ways to find out who is hiring in the SL search engine. Now let's head over to the forums. Okay, so the second place to get jobs is using the in-world employment, and this is on the Second Life community forum page. And I'm gonna link that below. Now you can see there's so many different jobs that you can actually get. And honestly, I kind of like this one more because like I showed you earlier, when you use a search engine, you're probably just going to get like normal hosting, dancers, voice escorts, DJs, mainly just those three categories: hosting, escorting, or DJing. Usually those are the only ones that you will find on the search engine in Second Life. However, when you come here, you get a wide variety of job offers. Some people are looking for management, some people are looking for roleplay doctors, um, a mesh creator, scripters, blogger search. Oh, I might do that. So there's so many things that you can do. Look at that. A realtor. There's so many different jobs on here. And honestly, it's look, they're even hiring for wrestling. So there's so much stuff that you can do here. Oh, there's even a My Story personal chef. You know, this would be good for Masumi. She's really good at creating My Story food. There's a lot of things in here. Looking for an efficient or a minister. Writers, photographers, and managers. Oh, I like this one because I'm a writer myself. Like, I write so much on my own time, just short stories and stuff for myself. So I would love if I could do more writing in Second Life. Alright, well, this is basically it for this. I'm not going to do too many more. So this is the second way that you can find jobs in Second Life. And this way is a little bit more efficient because you can find a variety of jobs and it's not all in those three categories that I mentioned earlier. So I like this one a lot. Alright, so now we're going to talk about how to actually apply for a job. Now, there's three ways based on all the options that I've given you. So if you're applying in World based on the search engine, you can probably just travel to that location. And there's usually like, okay, I'm going to show you my job so you can see where the application usually is. And the application for my job are actually in two places, I believe. Yeah, okay, so see, this is the first one. Boom Boom applications. And it's right at the landing spot. So as soon as you land, if you turn around, you'll see the job application board right there. But if somehow you miss it, you can also go in here. But if you zoom into the state, you'll also see the club applications here. So you can basically just find the applications anywhere. I'm gonna go back out there because I'm laggy today. I don't know why, but I am. And I am just gonna click on an application. And this is going to take me to the web page. You know, I forgot that this was a web page. So some places when they do applications, they will have like a Google form or something. For this one in particular, they have their own website where they have their applications done, which is really cool. You know, when I did mine, I think I just did mine on a note card. So they changed it up a bit. This is really cool. I like this. Okay. You know, I feel bad that I didn't know that this was here because I work here. I feel like that's something I should have known. But whatever. I know now. And here they have all the positions, the qualifications. And you know, it's pretty easy to apply for a job, even if it's on a note card, which I'll probably still have the note card in my thing, so I'll pull that up in a moment. But applying for a job in Second Life is pretty easy. Most of the time, you don't have to have a lot of experience. You just have to have common sense. Common sense not to do crazy things, common sense on how to behave, and common sense on customer service. Now, as long as you have common sense and you're polite and respectful, most of the time you're going to get the job. Just saying. So that is that application. Let me see if I can find my old one. Okay, this is one that I filled out. So it says blah blah blah, thank you for your interest in being a host or whatever, blah 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 blah. These people were also really nice. However, I didn't join them because they wanted to choose my own hours. And as I said earlier, I just prefer to choose my own hours, you know? I just prefer to choose my own hours. I don't want people to choose my hours for me. So I didn't end up working here. But the application is pretty basic. What's your SO name? Are you age verified? I assume so, because like I don't know how you verify your age in Second Life, but I don't know. Why would I lie about my age? I don't know. What clubs have you worked at? Like any hosting experience? And I named the ones that I can remember, which was Faith and Flower, and another one that I forgot the name of because they kept changing the name up. And you know, this application is pretty basic and I was approved. But it didn't work out because, like I said, the whole time thing. So basically, you don't have to do a lot to apply. And for the forms, you just have to write in the forms or follow the instructions in the forms. Like most of the time in the forms, they will ask you to send them a personal message, or they will ask you to sign up in a Google Doc form, or they'll even ask you to just post your username in that form, and they'll get back to you when they can. So applying for jobs are pretty easy. It's not hard at all. So next up, I want to discuss the interview process. Now, interviews can seem very scary. Well, not scary, but you know, nerve-wracking. Because just like in real life, like you have no idea what this person is expecting, how these people are going to be. Now, I've had some crazy job interviews. So one time I was interviewing for this job, and it was at like our new startup club, and they had like a lot of pop and rock stuff playing. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. The club looks good. The people seem nice. And as they're talking to me, the guy who owns the club just starts, you know, role playing, undressing the girls around him and like playing with their body parts and stuff. And I'm just like, oh, okay. It come to find out, he like has a whole wife and but still messes around with the women who work at the club. And I'm just like, this is so weird. Why am I here? Oh my gosh. I didn't end up staying in that job. It was just too creepy for me. Like, I never want to tell anyone, you know, how they should have fun. But I think in a job interview, that's probably not the best time to do that stuff. But I was really weirded out. And that's probably by far the worst job interview I've ever had in Second Life. So, the interviews are probably going to be the weirdest parts for you just because you never know what kind of person you're going to get. Like who this job owner is going to be, what they're going to be like, if they're going to be polite, they're going to be rude, if they're going to act like, you know, they don't have the time for you. I've definitely had that too. I've had a job interview where the people doing the job interview just acted like you were wasting their time. And I'm like, well, why did you even accept this? Why am I here if I'm wasting your time? I don't know. So I guess, you know, you just gotta do it and hope for the best. Like real life, you never know what you're gonna get. But just go there, make sure that your avatar is dressed to fit the vibe, wear appropriate attire like real life, and just, you know, be on your P's and Q's. I wanted to talk about scheduling your job, but that's kind of a part of the interview. Most of the time when you're doing an interview, that's something both of you should bring up. So if they don't bring it up, you should definitely bring it up. You should ask about your scheduling, how many hours they want you to work. So most hosting jobs, or most jobs in general, they usually have at least 2 hours that you have to work, or at least an hour. For me, I do 2 hours at my hosting jobs. So that's about 4 hours every Saturday. So I set my hours myself because I have a lot of free time on the weekends. And I was like, you know, this is perfect for me. I can do my 4 hours and then I can be done. Now, if you want to get more money, you can definitely have more hours. But for me, I was just like, this is enough. Because not only is it getting me Lindens to buy things in Second Life, but it's also giving me some, social activity because I don't usually interact with people. So it's like a win-win for me. So you should definitely bring that up in your interview. Always talk about your hours. And if it's not at a tip pay thing, you should also ask about your pay. So if it's not like a hosting thing or a DJ thing where you get paid through 100% tips, you should always do 100% tips. I do not like when they take a percentage of your tips because honestly, just being honest, it's really hard to get tips. Like you have to really push yourself out there to get those tips because people are like you. Either they don't have the Lindens or they don't want to spend their Lindens on just some person. Like, okay, so one time I was just, doing my thing in my club at Kinky Haze. I was just vibing it up, chatting with everyone, doing the little flirty but not flirty thing, and just, talking with the couples, talking with everyone, and just having a good time. And this woman who was like a mistress, she just started tipping me a lot of Lindens. And I'm just like, okay, well, she's tipping me a lot and she's a VIP customer. So I am going to, focus a lot of my attention on her and her submissive. So I'm just like talking with them, chatting them up, telling them, oh, you're such a good looking couple and stuff like that. Just yada, yada, yada. And that got me a lot of tips. Now, that's not going to happen all the time, but you never know who's going to be there. You never know what kind of Lindens they have, if they're willing to give it to you. So, I don't know. I just always suggest that you interact with everyone as if you know you're getting paid, because you never know who's going to step into that club. You never know who's going to pop in, who has what kind of Lindens. Somebody could come in and just drop a stack on you and then leave. I've had that happen before too. So you just never know. So you should just always put your best foot forward and just really try your best. And if you don't get anything, it's fine. Because most of the time, these clubs, if you don't get anything, the owner will just give you something just to thank you for your time. And I think that's pretty cool. And I always tell them, you don't have to do that. I enjoy myself, so I still do it. And the tips are just a bonus. Now I'm just going to give you some tips, which I kind of just already spoiled some of my tips. But the first one would definitely just be to put your best foot forward. Never come in with an attitude. Leave any drama home. 2, I highly, highly suggest this. I know it's like a big thing for people, but don't bring your friends and your family. Or if you do, you cannot spend the whole time just talking with your friends and family. I've seen people come in and they have like 5 aunties and uncles and brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers, and they're just all talking together, completely ignoring every single person in the club. Like one time I was waiting for my shift, and so I'm just in the club, I'm just listening to the music, and the hostess is just talking with his family. Like there's no one else talking but him and his group of friends and family. And he also has 0 tips in his jar. And you know why he doesn't have any tips? Because he's not interacting with anyone. If you're only interacting with people that you already know, you're not being a welcoming host. You're not making people feel welcomed. You're not, giving people the social that they want. You have to interact with people. You can't just have your friends and family there. And it's nice when your friends and family tip you, but, I don't know. They're going to be the only ones that tip you. So I just advise that you don't bring people in who are only going to talk to you. If you have a DJ, you should always big up your DJ. Always. Now, I'm not saying you have to do it back to back to back every 5 minutes, but just now and then, if you have a 2-hour shift, at least 5 times that you should encourage people to give Lindens to the DJ. And they in turn should do the same thing back. Now, for me, it's kind of hard if you and your DJ are not getting along or you and your host aren't getting along, because it kind of has to be a good pairing to make a really good experience. So I've had some DJs where they will just completely ignore me And I'm trying so hard to be interactive with them, and they're giving me nothing. And I'm just like, okay, this is gonna be a long 2 hours. And I try so hard. I really try. I even be like, oh, your outfit is so gorgeous. Oh my goodness, I love your hair. Da 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 da. Oh, I love this song. What kind of song is this? And just really trying to interact with them. And sometimes they just give me nothing. And the last one is to always thank people for tips, even if it's a small tip. Even if it's a small tip. So let me give you another example. One time, this guy gave me 10 lindens. And 10 lindens, that's basically nothing in Second Life, right? But still, I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for the tip. That's so freaking generous. And that's not a lie. Even though it's only 10 lindens, they're giving you their lindens for free, basically. So I'm just like, thank you so much. Da 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 da. And he was like, you're welcome. And later on, right before he left, he gave me, I think it was like 300 lindens. And still, it's not a whole lot, but that's so much more than like 10 lindens. And so it goes back to what I'm saying. You never know how many lindens someone has or how much lindens they're willing to spend on you. So you should just always treat every tip like it's an amazing tip, because it is, even if it's 10 lindens. It's very generous. It's very polite of them. They don't have to give you anything, but they choose to. So you should just always keep that energy, and you never know. Maybe they'll give you more at the end. I don't know. I'm just grateful for anyone who tips me, because I know they don't have to, and I appreciate it. So I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So if you have any specific questions on how to find a job, or how to apply, or how to do a job, let me know, and I will lend you my experience as best as I can. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a blessed day. And if you have any questions, just leave them down below or send me an IM message. Alright, I'm gonna go. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!
Oh, sleeping with your friend, you ain't even had man lying on you. Oh, that got me a bag full of bricks.